So what I did was I went ahead and soldered the leads from the spider to the solder tabs on the push terminals. Got the push terminals all tightened down in place. And all you do is, like, I take some alligator clips and then you just put your wire on there. And what I do is just, clamp it in place, put a little dab of flux on there, and then I behind it on the solder tab, and then clamp it on there, and then I put a little drop on the outside. And what I do is just put my soldering gun up here like so, and then just heat it up, and then put my solder to it and let it just wick into it really good, and then let the alligator clip hold it there for a bit, and then just pull it off, and then I'll slide my heat shrink on it. As you can see, it's on there really good and tight, all of them. And once I'm done, I don't know if you can, well, you may or may not see. Let me see if I can zoom in again. What I do every time is I will put a dab of glue on the head of the push terminal that comes up the threads over the nut and washer, down to the black insert and the red inserts. And all that does is it just keeps it from vibrating loose. A lot of manufacturers do that. I just dab a little, shoot a little, put a drop of CA glue up here and just let it run down onto the frame right there. Just hit it with the activator and just let it stop. And then what I do when I'm done, I just kind of pull them back a little bit out of the way, all the way around, as you can see. Just pull them back. And that way, that way it keeps them, out of the cone. Like as it comes down, it won't hit the leads. Older subwoofers, and I still build them with floating leads, where the leads come up, from here, and they're not sewn into the spider, and they come up through the cone. When I do old subwoofers, like I try to do them, like period correct, and put floating leads back on it. And if you have too much lead, what it'll do is you'll get the lead slap, where on the downstroke and stuff, the leads will slap the back of the cone. A lot of manufacturers used to put like a piece of felt on the back of the cone, like glue it in place, and that way if the leads did slap, you really wouldn't hear it. So really, if you just do your leads, when you're doing floating leads like that, if you'll lay them down, and then like the long piece of flat lead wire, if you'll lay it on a flat surface and then just like roll it, what it'll do is it'll make it curved, and then that way, you can get closer into where you need to be at the coil, and you don't have to have a whole lot of like arc to it, like a blunt. You can have slack, but that's a whole other thing. When I have one of those to do, I'll show you guys. But anyways, at this point, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna set the cone back in place, and clamp the cone down so that make sure it sets flush all the way around, and then I'm going to glue it in there, and then I'm gonna pull the leads back and glue it to the cone. I'll get it on the next video. I didn't get this part in there. I mean, it really didn't take any time. It took me like 2 or 3 minutes to do it. I didn't get it. My wife had came in and we had some stuff to do, and when she got in, so I didn't get that part of it. I was just trying to get it, get it done real quick so I could help her. But when I do it again, I'll show you guys how to do it. It really isn't that nothing to it. You just, like I said, you put this on there, and I always do it to the back side most of the time, and then just put my alligator clamp on it, and then just solder it to it, because when you let it wick into the lead and onto the solder tab, and then once it, let the clamp hold it for a bit, for like 30-40 seconds at the most, and then you can take it off. Like they're solid, they're not gonna come off. So I'm gonna have dinner and stuff, and then I'll come back and we'll put the cone on and do that.